Hey everybody, it's Abe Brown, the founder of Momentum Coaching. I'm also a best-selling author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a coach, and I'm here in Vancouver for day 2 of our Certified Life and Executive Coach training. Just about to check out of my room here in Vancouver and head on down and get set up for the training. And I'm totally pumped about our training today because it's the second day of our Certified Life and Executive Coach training. Now, yesterday I shot a video where I talked about focusing on getting focused. Getting focused is something that's absolutely critical. It's probably, nearly impossible to fulfill your destiny as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a leader, or just as a human being without at some point doing the 3 things that we talked about that will help you get focused yesterday. The first is to say yes. In other words, to align with your strengths. Number 2, to say no, to detach from distractions. And number 3, to take time. In other words, take time to tune out, to pull back, and then, of course, to tune up. And, after I shot that video yesterday and posted it, I got a lot of positive feedback, and actually a couple of messages from people. And they said, boy, Abe, that was a great video. Really, really appreciated the video. But I'm wondering, how is it that I can detach from the distractions? Because, Abe, the distractions that I'm trying to detach from, they're not bad things. I mean, they're not things that are harming me. They're not things that are evil. They're not things that are wrong. But, I'm still distracted. And so I'm trying to figure out, how is it that I can unplug and detach from these distractions? And the reality is, folks, I've been there. I mean, oftentimes in the fulfillment of our destiny, we really have to pull back, not from the bad things, but from the good things that are taking us away from the best things. And so how is it that we can detach from our distractions? Well, the number one thing that I have discovered that helps me to detach from my distractions is to ask this question: is this distraction, this activity, this relationship, this business, this thing, whatever it is that thing attached or aligned with my purpose? Is it connected to my personal purpose? And, when it is connected to my personal purpose, then of course it's not a distraction. But when it's not, then I need to start thinking about, do I really want to stay, distracted by this thing? And I actually need to detach from it. And, a lot of people struggle to discover their purpose. But when I think about purpose, I think about 2 questions. Number 1, where was your moment? And number 2, did you honor it? For me, I discovered my purpose many years ago, almost 2 decades ago now. You might not know this. Some of you have heard this story, but some of you haven't. I was a pastor in a church for about 13 years, and what a wonderful, wonderful experience that was. It was incredible. I got to meet so many great people and build so many great relationships. And I remember at the time I was just young. I was 23 years old, and I was called to do a funeral for a man who had passed away in his 70s. And this gentleman had precisely one person who came to his funeral. And of course, besides me, but I was paid to be there. And, it absolutely shook me to the core of my being at that moment in time that, this was my moment, that I didn't want to live in such a way that only one person would come to my funeral. I wanted to live in such a way that many people would come because of the impact that I had made. And kind of at that moment, and I'm, again, talking, over 15 years ago, I determined that I wanted to live fully. I wanted to fully live my life. I wanted to love openly and authentically. I wanted to be a person who would serve gratefully, serve others, and lead effectively, and be a person who would make a difference in the world. And that was the decision I made. That was kind of my moment. And, the second kind of question, because I personally believe that everyone who's alive and somewhat aware of spirituality and life, they have a moment like that. Now, mine was doing a funeral. Yours could have been a night, an event, a situation, a person, a relationship. It could have been whatever, but it's that moment where in your heart you knew that your life was about something more than what it had been up until that point. And so the second question that's so important about detaching from distractions is, did you honor it? Did you honor that moment? Did you take that moment and say, from this moment on, I'm going to change? And if you did, awesome. Then dial into that moment again and again and again, and it will help you to detach from distractions. But if you didn't honor it, then honestly, don't beat yourself up. Just get back up again and honor that moment, because that moment was meant to teach you your personal purpose so that you could make your difference in the world. So I hope that's helpful to you. I don't have 5 easy points or anything like that, but to detach from your distractions, you have to really think, what was my moment? That moment where something shifted in me, where I discovered my personal purpose. And not only, did I identify that moment, but I'm going to honor it. And so thanks for checking this out. I hope you haven't gotten dizzy. This is my hotel room in Vancouver. They gave me a great view of this awesome, awesome city. And now I'm about to go down and get ready for day 2. So check us out, wealthitforward.com. Again, that's wealthitforward.com. Have an amazing day.